Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore. And today I'm going to be taking a look at your tea leaves. I'm going to bring you some messages. I hope they're for you, or at least I hope that they resonate in some way. We're also going to kind of ramble and chit chat a little bit because I do be wandering. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on the video. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I super duper noticed, right, is we have what looks like 5 and 5. So we have 55. That is going to be the first. And I just have started writing down some of the stuff that we see because I do forget, and I'm sure that unless you're writing it down as well, you might not remember. We also have, it looks like the number 3, let's see, 3204. 3204. Okay. So I hope everybody is doing well. We had a little bit of a reprieve from the heat up here in the north, and now it's very hot again today and humid and smoky. I hope that it's a little different for you. All right, so we have what looks like a face. We have the head. It's kind of in a cartoony, almost like a comic strip. I'm thinking like something like Dilbert, right? We have 2 eyes. We have the mouth. We have the head kind of exaggerated, pinched in the middle a little bit, the wide neck here, and then going down into what would be probably a shirt. Okay, now sitting up here, it looks like we have, I immediately thought of like a little elemental, some kind of creature that is maybe like a familiar, maybe more like something that has grasped onto this person, an energy that is traveling with them, that is maybe parasitic. And maybe it's something that they had called into their life themselves. Maybe it's something that keeps them company. You know, we see this a lot with people who, well, anyways, I perceive, take it with a grain of salt. This is how I perceive this to be. And not always, not always, not always. Sometimes, though, right? People who are going through deeply troubling, deeply grief ridden, deep addiction, lives that are not lived in a disorder. Like it's not because of the chaos necessarily, right? Because a lot of people, they live in chaos and they thrive, right? That's absolutely possible. It's not just the chaos, but it is the wound. It is the pain. It is the coping. And also, a lot of times, it is because of these pains and these happenings and torments, and maybe just really feeling uncomfortable in your own being, so much that you start dissociating, you start leaving your body, you start wandering. And I know this is on the line of mental health, spiritual health, all these things. And they all commingle in my mind. I mean, it's all a system that there are systems that overlap. They are linked into each other. They are part of a greater system, okay? And so sometimes when we are absent from our own lives, absent from our own bodies, absent from being present, emotionally absent, or very taken into things like the dark night of the soul, right? Into the grief, the tsunami that grief can be. The uh, kind of murky waters of inebriation or obsession or, whatever. So then we have these kind of transient spirits, and I do fully believe in spirits. Let me just be clear. Spirits, intelligences, all kinds of different creatures, on all the different substrates, right, on all the different levels of reality, both perceived and unperceivable, right, and so it's everywhere in between. And so sometimes they're going to attach themselves to people who maybe are feeling hopeless, and this anger, this sadness, this wretched pain, gives them some meaning. It gives them some kind of control, perspective, power within their own life. I speak of this because I understand it so well, in my own experiences, in my own travels. And so we have a person here that feels like they're not super close to you in your personal life. Like they don't belong, or they have not been invited in to anywhere beyond a formal setting or a public setting. So I'm guessing this is somebody that you work with or you volunteer with. I'm a parent, so and I have a young child who has activities and school things and whatever. And so I'm in a lot of environments with people that I know, and I maybe have gotten to know fairly decently well for, an acquaintance or whatever. But I would not be in these situations if I did not, you know what I mean? It's like these are places that we find ourselves out of necessity more than anything, okay? And that's not to say anything about anybody in these places, but, right, this is where a lot of us do our socializing at work. Go into, I don't know, if you go to the library or something, or you're in a club, or, whatever it is. You go to work, or did I say that? Yeah, work. I don't know. Maybe you're like in a bowling league or softball. Who knows? Whatever it is, right? And so this is a person who, them, they know you. There's something uncanny about them. I think that you've thought about it probably more than you would have liked, or you know what I mean? Like, it's like, why does this person's energy really, it's very striking to me, right? And honestly, I really believe that you are perceiving that they have something on them. I don't know how else to say it but that, right? Like I don't necessarily like a lot of the different like there are a lot of systems where they'll talk about like different kinds of entities, and really go into deep classifications and histories and lore and all of this. And yeah, I fully believe a lot of that stuff, right? And even if it wasn't something, it probably is something now because it's a thought form and you birthed it. You know what I mean? But I don't know how to describe. I don't like to describe these things too deeply, especially when it's an indirect person to me, right? I'm like, okay, I can feel the blur of something there, But I think that you perceive this on them. Now, you might think, oh, that's just like a really weirdo, weird, not in a fun way, weird person, unsafe. They might be, fairly volatile. They maybe have said something, or the way that they just kind of, look at you or look at other people, whatever it is, you know something's up with this person. You know. Now, we have these eyes over here. Look at the, like, here are the eyebrows, here's the eye, here's the eye, the eyebrow. Gazing. Now, this person almost seems to me to be not, it's not like they're aloof, but it's like they play up their quaintness or their relatability or their, oh, I'm just a regular whatever. You see that this is a very there's like a sense of somebody who is very calculated. And I think it's like, it might even be like a situation where everybody around you is like, dude, you're tripping. Like, they're really nice. No, not so-and-so. They're just a little different. You're just picking up on they're kind of different. No. It's not about anything like that. We're all freaking different, okay? Like, I've never met two people. Well, I don't know. I guess sometimes I sometimes wonder if there are just like patterns of archetypal people in every place I've been where I'm like, that person reminds me, like they could be the same person. In my mind, over time, as my memory fades away, you might even become the same like the stories merge because you're so similar. You know what I mean? But listen, everybody's different. Everybody's different. If you get to know any people in life, you're like, all the configurations are different. We're all different. It's not about, oh, they're different. They're weird in some unique and interesting, or maybe it's off-putting because you don't understand. Whatever. It's not that. This is like that feeling of, you're like walking down a trail and it's getting dark outside and all of a sudden you get that terror. This is like a survival instinct type of, yeah, that's weird, dude. I don't know. That's a weird energy, a heavy energy. Almost a metallic energy, okay? And I see you, you see them. They know that you see them. That's what I think has changed. I think that you have noticed them, but you also are a noticer. You notice people a lot. You notice a lot of things about people. You've gotten good at not reacting to them overtly. You've gotten really good at not mentioning or not letting your thoughts seep into your conversations with people that make you feel uncomfortable or unsafe or whatever. You are good at, like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you get into a situation, it's so uncomfortable, it's like the Freudian slips just start coming, right? You're good at keeping your cards close to your chest, so to speak, right? So I think for whatever reason, probably because this is a person who I don't know if they're predatory or if it is that they are like maybe struggle with a sense of self and they're very good at trying to hide who they feel like they are beneath you know what I mean? Like, just really does not want anybody to ever see them do anything, embarrassing or they don't want to be called out. They get real angry if they, stuff like that. So I see you looking at this person. They notice that you notice. And that's the thing here. Now, I'm not going to be like a doomer and say, oh no, now you got to really like watch yourself. But yeah, babe, watch yourself. Like, even the nicest person who seems super cool and chill and like whatever, Watch yourself with everybody. Watch people. Watch people. Watch what they're doing. Watch how they're treating other people. Watch how they move. Not what they say that they're going to do or whatever, what they're, running their mouths and this and that. Watch how they actually move. Everybody in your life. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's true. You have to. You have to. Girl, in this economy, you have to. You know what I mean? Listen to me. I come from Northern California I'm an 80s baby, grew up in the 90s. Things were bleak for a lot of people, desperate. Okay? You need to watch yourself. Everybody should be watching themselves. But we always should be. But I don't like to be, I do have the CPTSD. I do admit that. So I am a little maybe hyper vigilant, often, always. But, listen, the economy is the economy. The world is, in the state that it's in. We all peep game. If you don't, I don't know what version of the video sim you're on, you know what I mean? But things is wild out here, right? So keep an eye. Now, I do think this is either an opportunity for an alliance or somebody that you just really need to stay all the way away from. Now, I want to see. We're going to just pick a card real quick. Let's see. Dang. Are you like peeping game on? Well, I almost wonder if it's like you're seeing a part of this person that you're like, oh, snap. Oh, hey. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I thought you were just like super like whatever, just like, a peripheral, uninteresting, whatever, like just somebody living their life. You can respect all that and not super interesting to you. And then you take a look, you see, you've been watching them, you've been noticing, okay, this person moves weird, they're kind of creepy, whatever. Maybe you like that. I don't know. Maybe you like creepy dudes. Or it doesn't have to be a dude. This could be a creepy lady as well, or any other configuration. I don't know. Maybe you like this. Maybe this is, but then again, I feel like it's like it's like it might be like it's like an old loop playing out, right? Where you are drawn in by people who make you feel uncomfortable. Because maybe that's how you grew up. You grew up around people who didn't have boundaries. You grew up around people who, forced you, oppressed you into their conditioning, right? Like very adamant, opinionated, belittling. Like everything you did was like, oh, that's nice, but, you could have done, you're a child, and maybe you're drawn into that kind of energy. I don't know, because I look at this face and it looks almost kind of angry. At the same time, I get this feeling of not fawning, but kind of like, this is interesting. I'm going to put put a little pin right here because this is something that I want to look at later. That maybe an aspect of being that you had not noticed before. And it's maybe not even romantic. We sometimes don't notice something in somebody, and when the light shifts just a little bit, right, and the situation plays itself out, you start to liken them to other people in your life, or other how you have felt with other people. Like I love me a grumpy old man, right? Because I had a grandfather who was very like, Not like out here like talking sh about people, or was a gentleman, absolutely. um but man, Grumpy was set in his ways. Don't mess with his stuff, his system, his project, big projects type of person. um was very supportive and nice, and all these things, but not to not to a point where it felt like a put on, or like he had to do it. Like if he said something nice to you, you knew it was real, because he was usually just super annoyed that he even had to be like explaining something to somebody. So I personally am very drawn to grumpy older dudes, especially as like somebody to just chit chat with, just to shoot it. You know what I mean? And so I know that about myself, because I'm an overthinker. I've analyzed. I've done the analysis on this, so I feel like this might be an interesting little doorway for you. Okay, I want you to kind of like look at whoever this person is in your life. They have weird energy. They definitely have something, like, I don't know. It's something dark. There's a little bit of a darkness there, I will say. Okay. What that means, I don't know. That maybe they're just a night-sided person, which I love. Shout out to my fellow night-siders. But when you meet one out in the wild, you definitely, I mean, you can't lie to me and say you're not like, yo, what is going on with that fool? You know what I mean? What is that about? Uh, so I don't know, though. I think I like it. I like it. I like these. This is what I live for. These moments where it's like, wait a second. Wait a dang old second. There's a lesson in this. All right. So we also have, let's see, we're going to move on to a different situation here. I went going. Look at this face right here. Here are the eyes. Here's the nose, the little mouth. We got a little smiley. Mountains, foothills, kind of almost like a little jaunt, maybe. I see some amount of, it feels like merriment. We have almost like here's a head and a body. Here's a head and a body, head and a body, and maybe like an animal, kind of like walking up, hiking possibly. There it just feels like this energy of returning to a place that makes your heart feel at ease. As corny as that. Which, listen, I'm all about the corn, baby. I live in corn country. So I feel that this has to be that you are seeing people, two other people, I think, meeting up with them, going to some kind of thing that you don't usually do, maybe like a trip, um, but not a big like you're not going to a different continent or anything, but like maybe a road trip. Um, I feel like it's like this need to let go of some anxiety. Like I just want to get in the car and go. I want to put up the radio. I'm gonna put down the windows. We're gonna go. We're gonna go hiking, walking, apple picking, or whatever's in season. Go see the sunflowers. Do something. That's what it feels like. It feels very feminine to me. That tells me that this is like something that's taking place, more in the natural, quote unquote, natural world, that is the out of doors, likely, or a place that is surrounded. Um, and, if you are like a city dweller, which I live very rural now, but rural. uh, I what was I saying? Oh, I live very rural, and but I lived in the city for a long time, and most of my life, and you find little oases, right? If you're lucky. Listen, I've been to some cities where it's like, yo, this is wild. There is not even a sapling. I have not even seen a sapling around here. But then you live in other, you go to other cities that are just, inundated with beauty and trees and these kinds of little parks tucked away in neighborhoods and this kind of thing. And so, it might even be something like this, right? For me, I'm closing my eyes right now. I'm thinking about driving. It's like 2008. I'm driving around the lakes in Minneapolis. I have the windows down. I'm listening to the Carter 3. Yes. And life is perfect somehow, you know? And sometimes we need to try to just find a little of that. I've been driving the back roads, you guys, listening to I'm embarrassed to even say that, like Bruce Springsteen, which not embarrassed about him. I love Bruce. Nebraska, arguably one of the best albums ever of all genres. But I've been listening to like chopped and screwed versions of Bruce Springsteen songs, which are so good. What's that one? The real famous, the I'm on Fire or whatever. That one. Listen to that slowed and reverb. So good. Ugh, it's a vibe. Anyways, yeah, I see you getting out there, putting your feet on the ground. Oh, here he comes. Here comes the boy. Hello, Pudgy. Yes, just walk right over. That's fine. That's cool, man. Go ahead. We love you. Come on. Come on. He's going to take his time. He's going to take his time here for you. Woo! There you go, boy. All right. Okay, so what else do we have? I want to just take a couple of, we're going to look at the little things. I feel like you keep having these moments where it feels like you are, like it's an emergency. And it's not like big emergencies, but it's like constantly you're like starting to get going on something and something just goes wrong, right? You have to stop and you have to go and work that out and then come back and reset, and and it feels like this has been happening more and more and more lately, and I'm just seeing these E's everywhere. Like it's just, it feels like if you were, well, for me, like right now, if I was recording, and I don't like to have to edit my videos together, so I try to do them in one through shot, and like a fire alarm goes off. Um, and it's like, all right. And then you figure it out. Thankfully, nothing's bad. Okay, we're good. Let's go again. And then the next day, I drop this thing and it breaks, and it's like, it breaks, and and I'm not trying to bring this into reality. I'm just telling you, it's just, it's not the big things. It's just like one, annoying, annoyance, disturbance, little bursts of chaos within the circumstance over and over and over again. And I can feel, I'm going to put this actually, I'm going to put this here. I can feel, and we're going to put the E. I'm just going to put an E here. I can feel like there's a sense of, well, I mean, is it burnout? It's like burnout, maybe. but it's not through the whole environment. It's just, it seems to be very much in a certain place. And maybe this is with the work, like or where you're like with that person, that um weird intriguing person, right? Okay, I can't have you scratching me, my friend. You are scratching me a little bit. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords. We are it just it we are in a place where it's like if you could just get into the like right lane. I feel like it's like you're riding in two lanes. Like you have to make a distinct decision to stay focused on. It feels very wound into your emotions. I want to say it's not a relationship so much as like how you're spending your time, who you're spending your time with, how it makes you feel, how it reflects in your disposition, your perspective on life, right? And I feel like it's like this knowing that, like, if I could just get myself in the right routine, it's not even routine, like, it is a routine. I mean, routine, but also like I said, where you're spending your time, with who, where are your thoughts at, you know, and becoming more and more aware of that, so that when you start to ruminate or obsess or worry or whatever, that you are able to um, not just like, oh, I'm going to force myself not to think about this. That's not what it's about. It's really about finding things to do or be involved in or immerse yourself in that help you naturally kind of unweave yourself to that anxiety, to those thoughts, to that obsession. Okay. Um, and I think this is why people talk a lot about, like, just you need to go outside and touch grass. You need to get, off the thing and go and do something tactile, do something in the, in the sun, or in the water, because it really, and not in an abrupt, I'm not thinking about this anymore, I'm forcing myself not to. And you still are, of course, because yeah. But when you go into something that you get immersed in, it makes you feel differently. You start to think about different things. Um, it's like you are detaching from that thing. All of the little tendrils are coming undone, and you are allowing yourself to not only be freed from the thing, but to free yourself from clinging to the thing, right? To the thought, to the feeling, to the impression. Okay. So I feel like it really is this place where all these things, they feel like they're going wrong. There's all this, like, just tedium, annoyances, distractions, overstimulation, um, and this rising anxiety, volatility, reactive kind of disposition. You might be pulling away. You might be hyper. Sometimes I do. I get hyper communicative when I feel unsafe, right? Or I start to worry, like, oh, this person's in a bad mood. I better, like, I guess, fawn to them or something, just to try, or just make sure everything's okay. We'll just talk until it's okay, and it's like, it's unconscious. It's now more conscious, but, we have all these, like, responses that happen. So now when we start to really, like, see that, and we are able to, in more organic, I guess we'll call it organic ways, let go of our, like, need for some kind of control. We kind of let go into the uncertainty of it all, and then really flow into something else, and it doesn't feel so, I don't know, traumatic, I guess, or just so such a big deal, right? And, I think about a lot of this stuff because I'm raising a child, and, we all know how kids are from one thing to the next throughout the day, and all the variables of play and sleepiness and what have they been eating, do they have sugar, all these things. And no two situations are the same, and these kids are so smart. You're always like having to, have these deep conversations about things that feel like, well, I said no because I said, you cannot have that because, whatever it is, it seems like it should be cut and dry, but it becomes these long situations, right, of communication, behavior. And so I think about this stuff a lot. But I feel like for you now, we're getting into a place where as you are able to let yourself flow away from, that growing anxiety, that like freak out that feels like it's coming, right? Uh, Things start lining up for you. It's funny how that happens when we stop operating from this place of like, emotional desperation or burnout, or we're going through so many layers of loss, and the world not making sense, and trying to keep up and pay for, pay the bills, and all this stuff, right? Our nervous systems are tweaked out, dude, you know um learning how to not just survive all of this, but to in some little way continue to evolve and transmute, and become all of the many things that we are, right? It's like the universe, when you can see everything is everything and everything is in its right place, we know where to look for the things that we want for, the things that we need for. They start to appear to us. They start to show up, right? So anyhow, I feel that there's a lot of learning going on here. There's a lot of unlearning going on here for you. But really, above all, there is a sense of getting beyond the duality. Getting beyond this idea that things are all of something or none of something, or it's all good, it's all bad. Seeing the subtle more than ever, the nuance, right? And allowing yourself to not be so tied to any one way. So anyhow, we're going to get going. I'm going on and on and on. Let me just look at this really quick. We didn't really touch on this one too much. We have a heart. So you have love. You have a good love going, or one becoming, or one that you are recalling. It's super close in your heart right now. You're thinking about this a lot lately. And it is the sense of I, and there's exclamation, heart, and then YOU. So it is this is a I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I want that to be your mantra. I want you to be telling yourself that you love you. I love you. When those moments come and you're feeling like things are too much, it's overwhelming. I feel alone in all this. I can't believe, we've had these just years and years of waves of of things happening culturally, within, just all the things that of division, right? Losing our faith in each other, and our, a lot of people within their own families, for so many different reasons. There have been so many waves of division, and I laugh because it's like, it feels absurd at this point, you know. you know, I don't know who they is, and I don't believe in a, you know, I don't know about a they, like a large, oppressive, unknown they. There might be many of them. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I feel like something, and it's maybe our own collective shadow, right? Um, Something has really targeted, I think, our ability to be with each other, to know each other, to recognize ourselves in others, to want to even be around each other. I mean, just in the most, like, you know, the most little ways, in the little moments. Um, Now, I'm not saying this is a rule or it's definite or it's, you know, the majority, but I think for a lot of people, we have lost our ability to trust each other. Um, we are coming into a place where things are going to get more and more unstable, I think. And there will be, you know, movement, uh, there will be scarcity, or at least the fear of scarcity, and so on and so forth. You know, I'm not like a doomsdayer person or anything, but um, something's happening. We know this. We've been knowing this. Um, I don't know. I have no answers for like what we do or what anybody. I'm just, you know, some little gremlin that lives out in the middle of nowhere. You know, I'm trying to survive my days like anybody else. Um, but what I do know is that there is a deep power in learning to truly love yourself. And I don't mean it in some, again, cornball way. I mean learning to feel love and honor and pride in loving yourself. Privately, quietly, in moments where there are no cameras, there are no people hanging around, you know, um, you're not, nobody from high school's gonna see it, you know what I mean? Like, and really truly telling yourself out loud, you're home alone. You know, you just got done brushing your teeth. You're looking in the mirror. You're looking at your fingernail. It doesn't matter. And saying, "I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you," like it is the only mantra, the only thing that matters is finding that thread that leads to whatever it is that you are beneath all of these layers of whatever reality and spirit and whatever is at the core or woven through all, whatever it is, whatever that is. Worshiping it, devoting yourself to it, loving you, it. I don't know. I might be just, you know, crazy as cat. You know what? And I am. But I feel like that's it, man. I don't know. I don't know anything beyond that. I don't even know that, but I feel like it sounds good, right? All right, I love you. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. I do personal readings. I put the information in the description if you want to have a reading from me. Yeah. All right. I love you. 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 Bye.